Hello, everybody. Expat Ian in the Philippines. Um, as my brother died 2 weeks ago through illness, just got me thinking a little bit. How do we as expats handle death while we are here in the Philippines? So uh, we have left our families behind, the ones that we had before. So with your ex-wife, as many are divorced and remarried with Filipinos. So um, and for example, my mother. So I moved to China in 2007. So 4 years ago, my mother passed away. So the thing is, you don't. I was only traveling maybe once a year, once every 2 years. I was traveling back then to the UK, and I remember my mother's last words to me. She said, um, "Don't take too long to come back again." Yeah, but too late. So, yeah, so I haven't prepared this video. I'm just going on, but it's something that. So when I joined the military and moved to Germany, my father passed away. So actually, we actually left my father when I was 10 years old, and not long before he passed away. So I was already in Germany. I got a message, "Oh, your father's been trying to contact you." So I went back over to the UK to visit him, and everything. So he was blind, and but he was a really good man. Everybody liked him. Everybody knew him, and he even had his own radio show in Luton in the UK. He had his own radio show. So he was a teddy boy. He always wear sky blue teddy boy outfit. Sky blue because he was a Coventry City fan. And yeah, I went over to visit him because that's what he requested. And I took then, so she was still my girlfriend at that time, my ex-wife, German. And yeah, we went to see my father. And I'm 6'2", so he was bigger. He put his arms around his hands are massive, so he was a really big guy. And we were there for a few days, and then yeah, okay, so nice to meet you, blah, 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 and see you again. So I went back to Germany, and not long after that, I got a message that he'd passed away. So he had cancer. So again, you're living abroad, and so I have, because I was in the military. I don't know, we were out on exercise or something. I don't know. And I normally you do get the chance to then go back and home, and but I can't remember no what reason. So I have no idea where my father is, where he's buried, and what happened, whatever. So yeah, I was 18 at the time. So sorry guys, just refreshment. So then when I was in Germany, my ex-wife, so my mother-in-law at that time, when you're young, you never go to funerals, or you don't really know anybody that died unless it's one of your own family. I can remember my mother-in-law was sitting there going through the newspaper. I goes, "What are you doing?" "Yeah, I'm looking who died yesterday, because every day you get the day." And he goes, "Oh, I know that person. Oh, I know that person." Oh, I know that person. Yeah, that was a friend of mine. That was a friend of mine. And then I didn't think much of it, but now you get a bit older. I'm nearly 61, but when you get older, especially in the Philippines, because a lot of people die at a younger age, and when you're sitting there and you could, well, not every week, but you can someone dies. And I was thinking, so when you get, it must be so sad, and you're sitting there, and not everyone, but it feels like everyone around you is dying. So I never been to few. No, I tell a lie. No, been- By the way, guys, that's BrickBox just sending me a message. Probably that's my deliveries on the way. BrickBox. They deliver British groceries products in the Philippines. So where was it? Yeah. So yes, I did go to one funeral. I think that was my ex-wife's father, so my father-in-law. Um, it's a very quiet thing in Europe, very different to in the Philippines. So all I knew is like in Europe. So you have the wake, so where the person lays for a few days before the actual funeral in the cemetery, and you go in a room. There's like light music playing, very calm. Nobody's talking, no children running around, and it's a very quiet thing because you're respecting the dead, right? His last hours before he gets put in the ground, and also in the cemeteries, it's all no running around, no shouting. If you want to talk, it's whisper, whisper, whisper. So then you come over to the Philippines, and I was quite shocked. So I've been to many now, and then so I said, so how does this all go? So yeah, we'll go there, and then music playing, everybody's running around. There's all the gambling, alcohol, and for example, my mother-in-law, now my Filipino wife, so she laid in wait for I think it was 1 week under the chapel, and hundreds of people. You don't know them. You don't know where they come from. But there's always food there, so they're cooking. It's not 24 hours a day, but they're cooking. They get up early in the morning, cook, 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 cook. So for every day, they have enough food for all the people, and they come and they eat and drink alcohol, he's drunk, and play the games. That's the. I mean, every country has their own sort of thing, but it was quite a shock for me the first time I seen it. So yeah, okay. So I saw when my father-in-law died, I saw him. So he was the first like, dead person that I'd seen, and then I've seen quite a few over here. And actually, I wasn't really. There was one guy. He was a young guy. He died of an illness. I knew him very well. He lived uh, near where my wife's children lived, and so I knew how he looked. And then, so he's lying there, wake in the coffin, and all his they put makeup on, so he's got like it looked like lipstick, he didn't have he always had glasses on, so his glasses weren't on, and it was as if it was a different person. I thought, no, that's not him. It was some weird somehow. I mean, if he could see himself lying there, I think he would not be. Well, he might be actually. Well, I look good for a dead person. Anyway, so yeah, coming back to the subject, how do we handle death? Um, yeah, I was in China when my mother died, 2019. So uh, yeah, I hadn't seen her for a few years. And like I said, she did tell me, don't wait so long till you come back again. So, so that didn't work out. So yeah, she died, and so I got on a plane. I mean, that's a shit feeling. I mean, it was November, so it was. Well, she died November 11, and the funeral was December 11, so it was just before Christmas. So for me, Christmas and New Year was it was, and just to top it all, my Filipino wife was here in the Philippines. She she had cancer and had an operation and was on chemotherapy. So we had that also at the same time. So end of 2019 was not a good time for me. So yeah, so like I said, you get on a plane and you fly 12 hours and you're always, oh God, what's going to be waiting for me? And you get there and we're only a very small, there's only me and my brother was there that I hadn't seen for 12 years or something. Who, that's actually the one that's just died 2 weeks ago. So we didn't have much contact anyway. And then my sister was there, which I have hardly any contact with, and my half brother. Yeah. So you get there, and then they'd already sorted all my mother's things out, so because they had to move everything out of the apartment where she was living. And that's another thing that which I find a little bit distressing. One could say, once you're gone, they go in it, they take everything out, all your things, all your memories, and then that's it. You're gone. It was my mother-in-law. So from my Philippine wife now, my mother died 1 year ago. That made me very, very angry. But that's the way they do it here in the Philippines. So what happened was, so she died in the wake for 1 week, and then she got taken to the cemetery. When everybody went back to the house, it was chaos. I want that. I want that. I want that. And I started to go, hey, what are you all doing? We just 30 minutes ago, we just put her in the ground, and now everybody's fighting over all the things. Yeah, the electric aircon. I want the chair. I want the table. I'm going to take. I thought, oh my god! I said to them, if Mum could see you all now, I'd, and they go, and I said, Ian, shut up, shut up. It's not nothing to do with me. Just let them. I couldn't believe it. It was, and it was sad. That was our mother. She was the boss of the family. And then I'm thinking, what happens when I die? Are they going to do the same thing? it's and I said to my wife, oh, she was always, yeah, let's go and see mom, let's go and see mom, let's go and see mom, and everybody, yeah, mum, 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 mum. And now she's gone. Nothing. I says, shall we go to the cemetery? No. Not even for a minute. We've got to drive past there anyway. No, no, no need. So you see, once you're gone, that's it, guys. You're like I said, many of my out of sight, out of mind. Um, it's earlier when I started this channel, I done two videos about suicide because I out of my past, and I mentioned also there once you because I go, oh yeah, you think about your children and all the people around you, your family. Well, it's just the same as if you die naturally anyway, or if you had an accident. They'll miss you. What? First few days, weeks, maybe months, and that's it. Then they'll. I see that on the cemeteries here. You see lots of graves. They're terrible, terrible state because no one cares. You're gone. That's it. So the Philippines, they have their way. We have our way. We might find it a bit different and maybe upsetting the way they do it, but you have to come to terms to it. So I'm okay. It's just funny at the start, but then you've got the body lying there and everybody's having a big party. I said, well, if that comes to me, party, party. At least I go out with they can't say I didn't do anything for them. Yeah, so anyway, like as I mentioned 2 weeks ago, my brother died, and yeah, his son. Well, actually, it was a couple of. I think he knew his son a couple of days or maybe a week before that. He said to me, Uncle Ian, he says, if my dad died, would you come over for the? I said no. And he goes, why not? I said, well, why? I said, first, it's 12-hour flight. I says we only spoke once at my mother's funeral. Before that, 12 years nothing, or it was 8 years actually, and then another 4 years, so 12. And it was always so the expense of the flight ticket. Where was I going to live? Where was I going to stay? So I'll need a hotel. Food, I'd have to buy the food. Transport, I'd have to rent a car. So he's got no. So my brother, I take it, he had no possessions, only a few, because he was living in this in the hospice, so this place where you stop. It's like a hospital, but for the dying people. So they, how do you call it? Um, they they guide you into your next life, or they help you, whatever. So, and I thought, well, what's I don't know. He's dead, but he's not going to notice if I'm there or not. We didn't have a good relationship anyway, so I don't know. For me, it's I don't know what you guys think. Um, their death, I don't know. It seems like a normal thing now. Before, no, you never spoke about it, and it all comes to us sometime in our life. Yeah. So yeah, I did. So I didn't go to my brother's funeral, and my God, that was another thing. I said when my mother was alive. So she was the youngest of the siblings from her mother and parents. Um, they all died, and so my mother was the last one. So that had an effect on her. Like I said, when you see all these people dying around you, and I mean, it's like myself now. So my father died, my mother died, my brothers died. I'm the oldest of the children, so there's only my sister where I don't have any contact with, and my half brother. So that's it. So it does get a little bit, say, a little bit depressing. And anyway, so my mum, so she was the only one left, and she used to then go up to the cemetery and clean the grave from her parents, my grandparents. And then, I think the sun shines through. And she used to do that regularly. So go up to the cemetery, put some fresh flowers on the grave, and clean the stone. So then I said to my brother-in-law, I says, "Well, now Mum's gone. I says, who's going to take care of Gran and Granda grave?" He goes, "Oh, that's a good point. So nobody, if no one said it, like again, it's at some time in life you're nothing." So he said, "Yeah, he'll go with his wife, and they'll go up there and do that." But again, then when they die later, who's going to do that then? I mean, of course, it's the same with everybody. At some point, it's finished. And yeah, and then there was something we were talking about not so long back. Actually, it doesn't have anything to do with this topic, or it might. They said in 100 years, everybody we know will be dead. Everybody that we know will be dead. And then so like this house now. So I'll be dead. My wife will be dead. My wife's children will be dead, and maybe no, their children. So our grandchildren, they'll also be dead. So who will be in the house here? Somebody, I don't know, somebody will, and they'll probably look at the papers. And, oh, a Mr. Ian Walter. Who's that? You know, I don't know what the internet would be like in 100 years, but they could probably, and it'll come up, picture of me, and oh, that's the guy who built his house. Yeah. Right, so yeah, so yeah, it's a funny thing how people deal with death, death or death, not death, death. Um, Let me know in the comments how what you think and what you do. The same. All these expats. Are you going to die here in the Philippines? Have you prepared yourself to die here in the Philippines? Or are you going to go back to the country where you come from? Whether it's the UK, America, where. Because then again, so if you. Sometimes a hard decision. I'm stopping here. Um, I'm just thinking now because I have two children in Germany, but I don't, because I asked everybody else. So if I die, would anybody come to me to my grave and hi Ian, or am I going to be like one of the other graves where it's all overgrown and really it doesn't matter when you're gone because you're gone. You're not going to. But it's just something that I do sometimes think about. I hope that my wife does sometimes come to me, have a chat with me, ask me how I am, what I'm doing. Yeah. But I said to him again, or sometimes, I says, I don't care what happens to me. I said, you can dig a hole at the bottom of the garden and throw me. Or I said, cremate. What some of them do, they get cremated in the pot, and they just sit on the shelves here. I know in some countries there are rules and regulations of what you're supposed to do when somebody's cremated, but here in the Philippines, I think it's slightly different. I know there's one woman, she was with a Danish guy. Yeah, Danish. He died from an illness. And yeah, she's still got his pot. He was cremated and his ashes get put in the urn. She has that up on the shelf. So I think my wife could do that with me. And if my children wanted, they could come down and get some of my ashes before I go. So I'm going to stop now. Before I go, the sun's coming through here again. Before I go, and I didn't know this, in the UK, you can get ashes from your relatives, and you get that tattoo. They mix the ashes with the ink, and you get a tattoo done. Whatever the name of your, or I don't know, doesn't matter. Some type of tattoo, but they use it. I have to Google it. They use because my sister. She said, "Oh, I want some of Mum's ashes." I said, "What for? Yeah, to do a tattoo." I said, to do a tattoo? She said, yes. They mix the ashes with the ink, and oh, okay, whatever. So, guys, anyway, I'll close now. It's just a thing that I wanted to. So, let me know what you think about uh, your death, and if you've made any plans, and what do you think about the Filipino way, and because the thing that also shocked me because they're very Catholic. So I thought, oh, you like Europe? You have to wear your no, running around, shouting, kids screaming, everybody getting drunk, lots of food, party, party. So I'll leave it at that, guys. So if it took too long, as I said, let me know in the comments how you think about it, and if you've made any plans at all. So, as usual, thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't like it. If you didn't like it, please let me know in the comments. Let me know why. Oh, just note I've got a black t-shirt on, so that's sort of fitting to the topic. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Press the notification bell, ping, so you get notified when I do a new video. Please feel free to share with your friends and family. So from me, Koya Ian, it's goodbye, and I'll see you next time. So guys, it's goodbye. See you guys.